Big Ben is the nickname for the Great Bell of the Great Clock of Westminster, and, by extension, for the clock tower itself, which stands at the north end of the Palace of Westminster in London, England. Originally known simply as the Clock Tower, it was renamed Elizabeth Tower in 2012 to mark the Diamond Jubilee of Elizabeth II. The clock is a striking clock with 5 bells. The tower was designed by Augustus Pugin in a perpendicular Gothic revival style and was completed in 1859. It is elaborately decorated with stone carvings and features symbols related to the 4 nations of the United Kingdom and the Anglo-Welsh Tudor dynasty. A Latin inscription celebrates Queen Victoria, in whose reign the palace was built. The tower stands 96 m tall, and the climb from ground level to the belfry is 334 steps. Its base is square, measuring 12 m on each side. The dials of the clock are 6.9 m in diameter. The clock uses its original mechanism and was the largest and most accurate 4-phase striking and chiming clock in the world upon its completion. It was designed by Edmund Beckett Denison and George Airy, the Astronomer Royal, and constructed by Edward John Dent and Frederick Dent. It is known for its reliability and can be adjusted by adding or removing pre-decimal pennies from the pendulum. The Great Bell was cast by the Whitechapel Bell Foundry and weighs 13.5 long tons. Its nickname may be derived from Sir Benjamin Hall, who oversaw its installation, or heavyweight boxing champion Benjamin Conte. There are 4 quarter bells which chime on the quarter hours. Tower Bridge is a Grade 1 listed combined bascule, suspension, and, until 1960, cantilever bridge in London, built between 1886 and 1894, designed by Horace Jones and engineered by John Wolfe Barry with the help of Henry Mark Brunel. It crosses the River Thames close to the Tower of London and is one of 5 London bridges, owned and maintained by the City Bridge Foundation, a charitable trust founded in 1282. The bridge was constructed to connect the 39% of London's population that lived east of London Bridge, equivalent to the populations of Manchester on the one side and Liverpool on the other, while allowing shipping to access the Pool of London between the Tower of London and London Bridge. The bridge was opened by Edward, Prince of Wales, and Alexandra, Princess of Wales, on the 30th of June, 1894. The bridge is 290 m in length, including the abutments, and consists of 2 65 m bridge towers connected at the upper level by 2 horizontal walkways, and a central pair of bascules that can open to allow shipping. Originally hydraulically powered, the operating mechanism was converted to an electro-hydraulic system in 1972. The bridge is part of the London Inner Ring Road and thus the boundary of the London Congestion Charge Zone, and remains an important traffic route with 40,000 crossings every day. The bridge deck is freely accessible to both vehicles and pedestrians, whereas the bridge's twin towers, high-level walkways, and Victorian engine rooms form part of the Tower Bridge exhibition. St. Paul's Cathedral is an Anglican cathedral in London, England, the seat of the Bishop of London. The cathedral serves as the mother church of the Diocese of London. It is on Ludgate Hill at the highest point of the City of London. Its dedication in honor of Paul the Apostle dates back to the original church on this site, founded in AD 604. The present structure, which was completed in 1710, is a Grade 1 listed building that was designed in the English Baroque style by Sir Christopher Wren. The cathedral's reconstruction was part of a major rebuilding program initiated in the aftermath of the Great Fire of London. The earlier Gothic cathedral, largely destroyed in the Great Fire, was a central focus for medieval and early modern London, including Paul's Walk and St. Paul's Churchyard being the site of St. Paul's Cross. The cathedral is one of the most famous and recognizable sights of London. Its dome, surrounded by the spires of Wren's city churches, has dominated the skyline for over 300 years. At 111 m high, it was the tallest building in London from 1710 to 1963. The dome is still one of the highest in the world. St. Paul's is the second largest church building in area in the United Kingdom, after Liverpool Cathedral. Services held at St. Paul's have included the funerals of Admiral Lord Nelson, the Duke of Wellington, Winston Churchill, and Margaret Thatcher, Jubilee celebrations for Queen Victoria, an inauguration service for the Metropolitan Hospital Sunday Fund, peace services marking the end of the First and Second World Wars, the wedding of Prince Charles and Lady Diana Spencer, the launch of the Festival of Britain, and the Thanksgiving services for the Silver, Golden, Diamond, and Platinum Jubilees and the 80th and 90th birthdays of Queen Elizabeth II. St. Paul's Cathedral is the central subject of much promotional material, as well as of images of the dome surrounded by the smoke and fire of the Blitz. The cathedral is a working church with hourly prayer and daily services. The tourist entry fee at the door is £25 for adults, but no charges are made to worshippers attending services or for private prayer. Buckingham Palace is a royal residence in London and the administrative headquarters of the monarch of the United Kingdom. Located in the city of Westminster, the palace is often at the center of state occasions and royal hospitality. It has been a focal point for the British people at times of national rejoicing and mourning. Originally known as Buckingham House, the building at the core of today's palace was a large townhouse built for the Duke of Buckingham in 1703 on a site that had been in private ownership for at least 150 years. It was acquired by King George III in 1761 as a private residence for Queen Charlotte and became known as the Queen's House. During the 19th century, it was enlarged by architects John Nash and Edward Bloor, who constructed 3 wings around a central courtyard. Buckingham Palace became the London residence of the British monarch on the accession of Queen Victoria in 1837. Hyde Park is a 140 ha big park, historic Grade 1 listed urban park in Westminster, Greater London. A royal park, it is the largest of the parks and green spaces that form a chain from Kensington Palace through Kensington Gardens and Hyde Park, via Hyde Park Corner and Green Park, past Buckingham Palace to St. James's Park. Hyde Park is divided by the Serpentine and the Longwater Lakes. The park was established by Henry VIII in 1536, when he took the land from Westminster Abbey and used it as a hunting ground. It opened to the public in 1637 and quickly became popular, particularly for May Day parades. Major improvements occurred in the early 18th century under the direction of Queen Caroline. The park also became a place for duels during this time, often involving members of the nobility. In the 19th century, the Great Exhibition of 1851 was held in the park, for which the Crystal Palace, designed by Joseph Paxton, was erected. Free speech and demonstrations have been a key feature of Hyde Park since the 19th century. Speaker's Corner has been established as a point of free speech and debate since 1872, while the Chartists, the Reform League, the Suffragettes, and the Stop the War Coalition have all held protests there. In the late 20th century, the park was known for holding large-scale, free rock music concerts, featuring groups such as Pink Floyd, the Rolling Stones, and Queen. Major events in the park have continued into the 21st century, such as Live 8 in 2005 and the annual Hyde Park Winter Wonderland from 2007. The United Kingdom straddles the higher mid-latitudes between 49 degrees and 61 degree N on the western seaboard of Europe. Since the UK is always in or close to the path of the polar front jet stream, frequent changes in pressure and unsettled weather are typical. Many types of weather can be experienced in a single day. The climate in the United Kingdom is defined as a humid temperate oceanic climate, or CFB, on the Köppen climate classification system, a classification it shares with most of Northwest Europe. Regional climates are influenced by the Atlantic Ocean and latitude. Northern Ireland, Wales, and western parts of England and Scotland, being closest to the Atlantic Ocean, are generally the mildest, wettest, and windiest regions of the UK, and temperature ranges there are seldom extreme. Eastern areas are drier, cooler, and less windy, and also experience the greatest daily and seasonal temperature variations. Northern areas are generally cooler and wetter, and have slightly larger temperature ranges than southern areas, which are generally warmer and drier. The UK is mostly under the influence of the maritime polar air mass from the northwest. Northern Ireland and the west of Scotland are the most exposed to the maritime polar air mass, which brings cool, moist air. The east of Scotland and northeast England are more exposed to the continental polar air mass, which brings cold, dry air. The south and southeast of England are the least exposed to polar air masses from the northwest, and on occasion see continental tropical air masses from the south, which bring warm, dry air in the summer. On average, the temperature ranges from 18 to 25 degrees Celsius. If the air masses are strong enough in their respective areas during the summer, there can sometimes be a large difference in temperature between the far north of Scotland, including its islands, and the southeast of England, often a difference of 10-15 degrees Celsius, but sometimes as much as 20 degrees Celsius or more. In the height of summer, the Northern Isles can have temperatures around 15 degrees Celsius. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends.